get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Good morning and welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. My name's Bleaves, and boy, this crypto market sure sucks, doesn't it? Like, absolutely crazy what's going on in the market. We're going to talk about all that and more. And is there any thirst for buying right now? Because it's starting to feel like a real trap that we're in right now. So let's break it all down because there's a lot to unpack. In fact, we got Ryo in the house, Dr. Profit and James Wynn waiting for 70 to 80,000. Plus he said bear market, and we are the dumb ones to think we go higher. By the way, this is the guy who told you that we were going to go to 50,000 6 months ago. Not even close. So I think their lows change on a dime. I don't believe they're, I don't believe that, by the way, they can go with general trends and general directions. And to be fair, like there is a real possibility of a breakdown to 70 or 80,000 because what they're basically saying is they think that the bull run is over and that we just did not get an altcoin season. So that's a dumb take. And there's plenty of reasons why. There's the fact that the Clarity Act will pass, but has not yet passed. There's the fact that 401ks will be able to invest in crypto going forward. There's the fact that gold and silver are booming right now. And historically, money that goes into gold and silver rotates into digital assets. There's the M2 money supply, which continues to grow. All of the data says that those guys are wrong, that if we're looking at some downward momentum, it's just part of a natural cycle, and that we're going to see a huge upward move at some point soon. We just need to find whatever that bottom is, wherever that bounce zone is. And in fact, it should be very, very simple here. If they were telling you that we're in a bull market, if they were telling you all this time that we are in or have been in a bull market, there were bigger outflows in the ETFs in August. However, here we are. So they're not right. They're just reading the signs and they're trying to develop their own thesis based on what they're seeing. And I mean, fair enough. When you get the trajectory of everything right, at least you know what direction to go. What you're looking at right now is trying to time a reversal. That's really what it comes down to. You're trying to time a reversal. And according to data, that reversal is going to be even higher than where we just were. So, but the question of the day, is crypto headed for a big crash as 5.72 billion in Bitcoin, Ethereum options expires today? And the answer to that is, well, we should have known already whether or not we were going to get a massive dump if it were based on the expiries, because the expiries are worldwide. So when you're putting out this article 3 hours ago at 6 a.m., you have until close of market to finish them all. But you are at this point, I want to say 18 or 19 hours into the expiries. So we already know pretty much what's going to happen. And what's happened thus far is we're down $95 billion on the day. However, guess what? We're still in the same position that we were just a couple of days ago. The difference in what we've seen so far, the difference in what we've seen so far, and this is where when people develop their thesis and they don't think them out, if we were in, just to give you guys an example, if we were actually in the bear market, why would Wintermute buy back $1 billion worth of crypto Just let it sink in. If Wintermute was in fact the company that dumped, and we know that Wintermute in fact was the company that dumped, if they did that, why would they buy back at the top of a bear market? Would that not make them the dumbest company that has ever lived? Let it think it through. Think it through for a little while. Okay. The reason you got these massive candles was because Wintermute was on Binance buying back these dips. Why would they buy the top? Again, just think about it. So it would be my thesis based on the data and information that these guys are just calling, because look, it's a bloody market. This was a bloody downturn. We should note that it's a bloody downturn. And I mean, listen, did you get a bearish divergence like we did the last time, which signaled that was exactly what was happening? And the answer to that is, look at the chart. No, of course we didn't. There's no bearish divergence right there. Everything is pretty clean, which means that new investors are coming in, old investors are coming out. Everything is natural in the cycle. This means that whales are not accumulating gigantic amounts right now. There's a distribution that has been happening that allows for the RSI to have a more natural flow. Going back to the peak bull cycle over here, look at this. This was a gigantic bearish divergence right there. Gigantic right there. Bearish divergence. We had a gigantic bearish divergence. Okay. We're not seeing all of that happening right now. We're not seeing it. We're seeing at best a wedge pattern having played out over one of these spikes, one of these tops here. So now, and by the way, let's zoom out here every time. Remember, right over here, we were at 2.75 trillion market cap. We were like, oh my God, here we go. Down, 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 down. Boom. Big breakout. Sideways action. Boom, 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 boom. And by the way, look, mixed in here, massive liquidation candles. The fact that this was the biggest candle ever doesn't belie the fact that it's happened before. And not only did it happen before, it went sideways for a few days and then it dumped even worse. And what's happening right now, it's kind of the same thing. And we ended up going higher. Do you not see it? Are we not painting the right picture here yet? And for anybody saying, well, the cycle is just over. We're in quantitative tightening going into what we thought was going to be the altcoin season of all altcoin seasons, the Jake Gagan super cycle, as they say. We're in that spot, but guess what? Here, it's not breaking. We're at 3.52 trillion market cap, which is higher than the previous market, right? And when we zoom out and we start to look at, well, where is the money flow? Still going so much higher. We're not done yet. We're not even close to done yet. So is this unfortunately a correction? Yes. Was the correction on the map? Also, yes. Did the correction go ever so much higher? Also, yes. So what the fuck are we doing? How are you telling me, or how are you trying to tell me that we're done? As a matter of fact, let me point this out. There was another correction after the big top over here that came back down. And guess what? We're starting to spike all over again to go ever so much higher. It's very, very simple here, guys. We are not done yet. In fact, we are so not done yet that the pros, who knows, will even show you on their charts that no, we're not. No bull market indicators are hit. We're not triggering anything. We're not getting blow off moments. We're not getting cycle top indicators. We're not getting any of those things. So are we there yet? By the way, even in a new paradigm, 5 of them should trigger, right? 8 of them should trigger, right? Even if something else was happening, some of them should be triggering and not just one-ish every once in a while. The altcoin season one is the only one that's getting triggered, or dominance is the only one that's getting triggered. Doesn't make any sense. So, and by the way, there's a lot of very smart people that created 30 different indicators to try to tell you exactly what's going on in the market. And all 30 of them are at zero. Let it sink in. Okay. Now look at the chart and you can see downtrend. That's the best you can hope for. You're in a downtrend. Now, are we headed for a big crash? Not because of this expiry. Bitcoin price prediction as gold becomes the world's second largest reserve asset after parabolic rally. Now let's take a moment here and let's zoom out here. Okay. All of the smart minds, all of the Bitmine people like Arthur Hayes, all of the Bitwise people like, again, Arthur Hayes, all of the Charles Hoskinson, and then smart investors, you know, not Charles Hoskinson. I mean, look, guy runs a stable coin, whatever. I keep saying that. I know it's not true, but for some reason it humors me. But the point is, there are a lot of smart people who are now telling you that Bitcoin is about to go ever so much higher. Coinbase said that Bitcoin is about to go ever so much higher. Binance, it's about to go ever so much higher. Everybody is seeing it except you guys at the ground level on retail who've got a lot of risk in certain altcoins, stuff like that. Is it making sense yet? We're not done. We're not done. So, and Derek says none of that matters if alts are going to keep getting drained. Why doesn't it matter? Look, it doesn't matter if I go down 5x, if I go back up 30x. It doesn't matter. It gives me an opportunity to accumulate more. Now, if what you're saying to me is, you know, like you bought at a bad price, don't worry. Me too. We all bought at what will end up being a pretty bad price. Like we're not all, there's only going to be a few buyers that ever catch that real bottom. The question is, are you going to go up above where you were before? And that's the part that matters the most. Now, hopefully it's going to be life-changing when it happens, which is why I have things like Dev, or I have things like Definity. Do you know, by the way, look, I'm not endorsing, we've talked about Definity, but do you know how much volume they have? Holy shit. I got the data and the numbers for Definity the other day, and they are trading hundreds of millions of dollars in Forex. This is a they don't know how to market their crypto. I think I may, you know, maybe a little bit of that. And they really haven't tied in the crypto as part of their use case where it burns or where they, so nonetheless, the business model, oh my God, they're producing money. Like they have data flows that show you how much money, and you have to do the own, like they're not telling you, hey, we're making this much money. But if you look at the fees that they're charging and you can look at the data that's going through every day, oh my God, Definity has won crypto. Holy shit, man. Definity has won crypto. It's mother. Anyway, hopefully that translates into some big price action at some point. That really is what I wanted to say with that. In fact, I heard how much they were generating in fees just by doing the math, and I'm like, oh my God, like they've got a thriving business model. Definity has a thriving business model, and it's only a matter of time before that thriving business model matches up to that token price. Like there's no way that it's not. So what is happening over here? Bitcoin price levels could test the 100K demand zone before initiating a rebound towards higher levels. The bearish MACD crossover reinforces this probability, highlighting fading bullish strength and validating a short-term corrective phase. The zone between 99 and 101 has historically acted as a reliable defense where liquidity absorption often leads to strong rebounds. If Bitcoin price stabilizes here, buyers may step in aggressively to reclaim 107,000. Once that level is retested, the next target could shift towards 115, representing a potential shift in market structure. Sustained accumulation around 100K would align with the long-term price prediction of a gradual uptrend towards 125K. Moreover, traders anticipate that renewed demand for long-term holders could further strengthen recovery prospects. Specifically, a daily close above 107 would confirm buyer confidence, while a breakout past 115 will reestablish upwards momentum. Now, how does this affect? The rally is down 32%, by the way, 34% now for Peter Schiff. Since August, it was 32% originally. Now it's 34. He's adjusting it and claiming it has failed as digital gold, while Binance founder defended Bitcoin's 16-year history for consistent growth. CZ Binance yesterday, Peter Schiff is out here trying to take a victory lap because he lost on Bitcoin. Okay, he's not been right about anything in Bitcoin yet, and now for the last 30 days, he's had something to be like, yeah, I finally picked something right. You know what I mean? And now he's feeling good right now, so he can't stop himself. And CZ Binance just grabbed the ball like Michael Jordan and just dunked on him like he's a fucking Keebler elf. You know what I mean? He points out, yeah, so digital gold, he's like, gold was this price and now it's this price. Bitcoin was this price, now it's this price. Like, get off put the bozo nose down, dum-dum. It was unbelievable. And he argued that short-term drawdowns are minor compared to Bitcoin's overall performance, which started at 0.004 and climbed above 100,000. Historically, both assets share a semi-correlated uptrend. When gold surges, Bitcoin often consolidates before following suit. What I just say? If it goes to 91K, my holdings will say zero. Ouch. Bitcoin often consolidates before following suit. So what's happening right now? Bitcoin's consolidating before what? Before following suit. Why would it not follow suit? Like, people are not understanding what's happening in markets. There will be a rotation. Institutional investors view Bitcoin as a more liquid alternative with higher upside potential, meaning gold's dominance could act as a sentiment anchor for risk assets in the short term. Yet as macro conditions stabilize, capital could gradually flow back into Bitcoin, supporting a renewed digital asset recovery. So, come on. Trump says China tariffs will not stand as crypto market crashes. He said that, and this was what he said. He said no when asked during a Fox Business interview whether the China tariffs would stand. He also remarked that they will be fine with China, a move that eases trade tension between the two countries. He's saying all the right things right now and all the nice things to appease people, not China, but people who are nervous about what's going on with China. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of an uptrend or a reversal on that. People are just waiting for the good news. Remember, there are a lot of different mitigating circumstances that we are dealing with right now. Number one, the government is shut down. Number two, we have a trade war with China. Number three, general malaise from people because we're getting towards the end of the year and people are starting to think about holidays and stuff like that. So remember, there's a reason that we have October is called Uptober, because it generally pumps and it starts moving pretty good, right? And then November, not as good, but still okay. And then December is a down sort of month. So we're on the precipice right now of that dip-opportunity. So all of these things are playing out real time. Okay, we've got clashes between people. We've got the right, a bunch of psychos going against the left, a bunch of psychos, but psychos in dresses. So that's scarier for some reason. And furry costumes, that's scarier. I don't know why you don't think that's scarier. Like, we have the guns. Okay, they dress like animals and wear rainbows. It's weird. It's a little bit weird. It's just, you got to admit, it's a little bit odd, at least a tiny bit. So, but you've got people going at one another. You've got Donnie Dingbat throwing people, ICE enforcement into the streets of big cities, but not the ones that voted for him. Only the ones that didn't vote for him, because that's where the real crime is. Even if crime statistics are higher in other places, you see what I'm saying? You get it. You get it. They're pushing us. The government, the media, everybody's pushing us to start fighting more because that's good for ratings. So if you're falling for that, you're fucking dumb. That's what's happening. They're telling you what to think, and you are telling yourself, I'm a free thinker. No, you're not. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Like, what are you doing, dumb? Stop being a dumb. Be a smart. Anyway, so that's happening. Then you have Ukraine and Russia still going at it. You have Donald Trump wanting to meet with Vladimir Putin. Melania is the translator for some reason. Why is Melania the translator? What is going on with her and Vladimir Putin? That's weird. Then you have Israel and the world at this point. You've got Pakistan just invaded somebody. But we stopped war. Why is Donald Trump bombed more people than Joe Biden in 4 years? And now everybody, and by the way, now the memes have turned to they took Joe Biden's face off and they put Barack Obama's because he bombed more people over, all of that time because he was president for all of that time of George Bush sending troops into wars. And so now they're changing it right now. Well, that's the one we meant all along. There's something different about Barack Obama. He doesn't look like every other president. Something different about him. There's something different. There's something weird where he doesn't just look like every other president for some reason. There's something odd there. So we better find out why he's bombing everything and everybody everywhere, every how. Even if he didn't start it, he's going to finish it. Something different. Anyway, so we're being brought into conflict constantly everywhere we turn, and that's scaring people off. So all of those things are coalescing into a nice dip in the market. So the question is our wallets going to step in order to buy that dip? Now, if we want to answer that question, then we should probably start where everybody in the world starts. ETFs. Not really, but whatever. So ETF outflow was 4.8K yesterday. That translates to $530 million. We haven't seen outflows like that since 4 days ago, but we did see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions and billions in inflows so far. We're looking at 62 billion so far. Since October 6th, we're up 1.19 billion. So the flow is still in the positive. Why are we freaking out? Right? There's we see the data, we see the reversal here, we see a reversal here, but what exactly are we actually seeing? I mean, that really should be the question right now. All of these things are going to work themselves out. Okay. We are still in a bull market. Now, the other one was the Ethereum ETF. How did the Ethereum ETF do? Well, we were like, oh my God, outflows today. Yeah, but nobody mentioned that we had pulled in 65 million or 65,000 one day, 41,000 the other day, that we're up $4 billion so far. Wait a minute, where's the USD right here? $14 billion right now. Holy shit. $14 billion. We are now up $14 billion on the Ethereum ETF. And you guys are talking about a bear market. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, we're up $14 billion in the Ethereum ETF. We haven't even launched the XRP. We haven't even launched the Solana. We haven't even launched the Link. You guys are bearish. What is happening? Okay. There will be a time. There will be a time when it's all going to be over, but it's not right now. Matter of fact, today, I told you guys before, just buy as much Bitcoin as you can, because there will be a big reversal on Bitcoin. That's going to be where it starts. Now, what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't touch my dev bag, because, that's one of those got to hold on to's. You're slow if you didn't think Obama didn't drop more bombs than Bush. Where did we get George Bush out of? Like this, George Bush started it all. I didn't say that George Bush dropped more bombs. George Bush started it all. Obama just proved that we ain't no pussies. Man stuff. I thought you guys liked guns. You just like guns unless, there's something different about Obama. There's something different about him. What was it that was different that made you nervous that he had a gun? What was it? I wish he would have had a pit bull. Wish he would have had a pit bull for a pet. That would have been funny. Anyway, 22 on the Fear and Greed Index. Kobayashi is working right now on oil prices. Now down below 57 cents a barrel, or $57 a barrel, by the way. That is a gigantic dump right now in the market. That means that oil prices, gas prices going to be coming down. There's going to be an absolutely crazy here. All right, said Dow erased a minus 500-point drop and turns positive as Trump says no when asked if high tariffs will remain on China. Think about that. You would think this guy is sponsored by the bankers. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not sponsored by the bankers. Psst. Sponsored by the bankers. Dow erases a 500-point. This is what happened today, by the way. All right. We were down. This was going to be a horrible day. Everybody's still feeling it from the tariffs, right? Well, guess what? All of a sudden, Trump says, well, you know, it's not going to stay this way, obviously. Then suddenly we're all bullish again. So I suspect it will translate into the crypto market at some point. It just hasn't right now. Down 110 on the day, but Dow Jones up 156. Remember, yesterday we started off with a nice little push, a nice little surge in the market, but that surge was not maintained. So, in fact, that money flow really looks just, wow. Like the money flow on this chart really looks a little bit off. The pivot on the bottom. We're in the, okay. So yeah, we're heading so much higher. We are heading so much higher. Anyway, up 140, 150 on the day, having a little bit of a surge. Hallmark of any bull market, pullbacks become oversold quickly and upswings become overbought slowly. That's exactly what we are seeing in stocks, gold, and crypto right now. I mean, like, there's the obvious pieces. Those are the obvious pieces. Now, if you want to know why you should continue to be bullish, subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a member, $4.99 a month, up to, by the way, there's 3 people right now that pay $99.99 a month to sponsor me, and I appreciate you guys. If you want to do the same, you can do it at the same place. TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Remember, Louisville's playing tonight. Chicago's playing on Sunday. You want to make some money? Bet the Ville, bet the Bears. Man, if they both lose, I'm going to be pissed. Anyway, and if you want to trade anything, Terraport.finance is your place to go. In fact, if you are looking for trade volume on decentralized exchanges and the strongest liquidity pool, then that strongest liquidity pool and everything is going to be on Terraport with over $500,000 in liquidity, $28,000 in volume yesterday. Meme linked, having a little bit of a surge up like 20-something%. Dev, I have no information on Dev. What I do have here is privacy is the #1 blocker to blockchain adoption. Dev Digital solved it with a globally patented privacy system that protects confidentiality without breaking compliance. By the way, that just got approved in September, I want to say. Blockchain transparency is both a feature and a flaw. Every transaction is visible, meaning competitors, data miners, or even state actors can reverse engineer your financial activity. It's not privacy, that's called surveillance. Dev Digital's solution introduces controlled transparency, full privacy for normal users, court-ordered auditability when legally required, and no mixers, no tumblers, no legal gray zones. Built on the DevX blockchain, it's powered by a proprietary cryptographic protocol developed over 8 years. Again, just approved in September by the U.S. Patent Office. Balancing privacy with compliance like no other system in existence. This means transactions can't be traced by unauthorized parties. Legal audits remain possible. AML and CTF frameworks are supported by design, and enterprises can finally use blockchain without exposure risk. Even more, entire private shards can run on DevX, enabling it isolated, confidential environments that still connect to public networks via cross-shard technology. Dev Digital makes blockchain privacy legal, compliant, scalable. It's the missing link between Web3 ideas and real-world regulation. So now you have kind of the layout here on what the privacy feature is for Dev. Again, we don't have the technicalities. I don't know exactly how this works. I said that before. Like, how do you verify your transaction towards the end? So there's things to it that are going to be a paradigm shift for safety and security and for privacy. Just don't know exactly how it's going to play out and what it's going to look like yet. But this is so interesting right now. By the way, XRP Ledger seems to be trending. Market all the way up here. Ouch. Like, we are, woof. It is just a bloody, bloody, bloody day. Buying opportunity, though. I mean, really, it is. It's a buying opportunity. Look, things are down so much that down 20% is just kind of zoomed out today. That is a huge dump. 4 down 27%. Shout out Ric Flair. And Arn and Tully and Arn and Tully. You know, I don't know which one you like more. Arn with the jackhammer power slam with the Alabama slam. I think it was called something like that. With he did the spine buster. That's what it was. The spine buster. Yeah, there it was. Shout out Arn and Barry Windham. AIO is up 44%. Gods is up 20%. We're actually seeing some kind of bubble right there. Everything else just kind of down on the day. Market down $126 billion, still fighting. So there's got to be a reversal. So where would the reversal happen? Let's go look at where the reversal would happen. And let's remove money supply. We know we're headed up. So where is the bounce? Now, look, I see that 100,000 was defended right there. So if we're just kind of taking a guess here, then from where we are right there to right there, this is the zone right there. You know what? It's a little bit deeper right there. Let me pull this down just a bit right there, over here, just a bit right there. Okay, so that's going to be the range for the bounce. That's going to be the range for the bounce right now. I just don't get how Definity is moving hundreds of millions and only having a 5 million market cap. Potential is huge. Okay, so the answer to that is because the token doesn't do anything. Their system, they trade money constantly. They make the numbers that I got were mid to high mid 6 figures per month is what they're pulling in from their Forex trading exchange. So, and the volume, like I think 1 month they had a volume of somewhere in the neighborhood of $600 million traded in one of those months. But they have data sheets where you can look at, like, it's ridiculous. Like August was 300 million, I want to say, and September was double that. And the point to it all is most people who are trading Forex, they just don't know that there is a Definity token to begin with because they don't do a huge job of marketing it or anything like that. But at some point they will. I mean, there will be considerable muscle. The reason that it's exciting is because they've already got what they need. Like, they've already got the business model in place to turn it into just something, absolutely incredible and crazy. And they've even had the market cap up there. Like, I don't know how high that really is. That secondary pump right there that took it to $1.31 right there. Something like that right there to $1.31 going into that range. Like, what would that be? That would be for 2 cents right now. So that'd be a 60x. So that would be a 240 million market cap. So a 240 million market cap would actually kind of make perfect sense for a massive Forex trading project. So again, Clarity Act is needed. MiCA compliance is needed. There's compliance that I think that they really kind of need right now. So for me, I think Definity might be just kind of a drift without an oar, if you will. And if some of that compliance comes into full vogue, like if it really comes into focus, then you could see this thing go absolutely crazy. On that launch, remember, it went to $5.76, well, almost $1 billion. That was, by the way, almost $1 billion in market cap. So if it goes to $1 billion in market cap, that's $5.76. So yeah, there's some real possibility here. And I feel real comfortable now knowing we can talk positive. I can talk positively without question about it because now I have an understanding of how they generate their revenue and how they generate their money. And I know, at least I have a reasonable assumption of how much money they make. So This is a thriving company. So at some point, this thriving company is going to break out. All right. I am now convinced of that. And I was not convinced of that before. Okay. I was hoping, and I was looking at it and saying, from a speculative standpoint, it looks like there could be something absolutely crazy to this, but I don't know. And now that I know, damn. And they've been doing this for years. Like, they've been building this business model for years. So, all of this was the drizzle before the sizzle, if you will. And when you come down here, like, they are so much higher right now. There's a moment where this thing could absolutely break out and go crazy. So SwiftX is way better. They helped make XRP. Maybe, but SwiftX. I don't know what that is then. I don't know what SwiftX is. So anyway, there is some possibility here. Now, as for the rest of the market, we're going to have that correction. I don't know how deep this is going to cut. I don't know how deep this is going to go. Would like to see a nice little bounce off of this little range right here. Would make sense to get that bounce off of the range right here. But let me tell you what the problem with that is right now. These candles right here show a deep buy right there, and this thing right here too. And you can see here, like, bang, bang. We've had 2 tests into this bottom. When you get 2 tests into that, that usually means that there's going to be a breakdown at that level. Now, it doesn't feel like it, but, remember, we were just talking about all of these, let's call it the clown squad, that say that we're going down to 75,000. Well, the reason they got that is because that was the top of the previous and the bottom of this previous over here. So it would make sense to say that it makes perfect sense that you would come down into that range, which is actually 74,000 where I put it. So it'd be the top of this range right here and the bottom of this range right here. And then you had a few little tests right there saying that you could go down maybe even to 72,000, something like that. I don't think that there's, in this market, I don't think that there's enough for that. Where I think we're going to get caught up and where I think we're going to get held is right there. If anything, having it break down below there would require Wintermute to do what they just did again. And I don't think they have it in them. And I don't know that any other market makers do either. Swiftcoin. Okay, I got you. Give me a second here. Oh, we want it to be under crypto. There we go. Swiftcoin. All right, Swiftcoin's market cap is 60 million. Definity's is 3 million. So if it 20x's, I'm happy. I'll take that. I'll take a 20x. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not holding it for some crazy reason. I'm holding it because I think it's going to make money. That it's a money maker. So if we can get the same kind of thing, by the way, look at this. They were at 44.6 cents not that long ago. They're 0.006 right now. How far up did it go over? Oops. $0.046 is where it is right now. So, and that was in January of this year. So if we actually get a breakout, if we actually get an altcoin season or got an altcoin season, that's about a 6x move to that range. 6x on, what is it, 60 million market cap? 6x on 60 million market cap is 360 million market cap. So I'll take that on Definity as well. So maybe. And I don't know anything about Swiftcoin. So if that's what it does, and it does Forex trading, what is Swiftcoin? What is Swiftcoin used for? Unlike traditional cryptocurrencies that operate solely within their own network, Swiftcoin facilitates seamless transaction across multiple blockchains. This means that users can easily exchange assets between various cryptocurrencies without the need of tedious conversions or relying on centralized exchanges. I mean, that's not the same. That's not the same. But in principle, I mean, You know, I don't know if I. Hey, if it does anything close to what Swiftcoin does, that's going to be awesome. I'll just put it that way. All right, so where are we at here? I'm going to suspect this market is going to dip quite a bit today. Okay, so let's go look over here at the DEX screener for everything. Definity is up a little bit today. Acceler is up a little bit to 11 million market cap. Everything else just kind of holding on right now, waiting to see whether or not something's going to happen. You're having a sell-off on Dev. Somebody just sold 20,000. Somebody just sold 3, 4. Those are not that much, not that much, not that much. Just general bearish pressure right now. Sell volume is 116,000. Buy volume is only 90,000. So you're a little bit reversed right now on it. The one thing that annoys the shit out of me, by the way, just for full disclosure here, is when I go into these wallets and I see this and I see that these sumbitches have never even bought any Dev. And then you go over here and you see that 50,000 Dev was moved in from this wallet over here. What is this wallet? What is this wallet over here, which has 5.4 million Dev over there? So I would assume that this is the operating cost, like this is how they're paying bills or something like that. That's what I would gather from that right now, since that is $5.4 million worth of Dev that got moved over and sold out. So I assume that that's making monthly salaries or payments or whatever it is that they do. Maybe they're paying for the final licensing. You know what I mean? Are we going to see Lunk at a $1 price? There's no chance of that. My prediction was 0.0027 in this bull run. I don't think there's any way that. Listen, the validators for the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem do not want what's best for you, the investor. They don't want to pump your bag. And I don't mean that they don't want what's best for the chain, by the way. They just don't, their priority is not your bag. Their priority is securing that network and making sure that that network stays, I don't know, free of control, decentralized. I want to say something like that. I mean, I'm sure they'll give you a pretty good explanation as to why they hate money. But, you know, for me, by the way, I am announcing for you guys, I'm working right now to set up a validator. I will have a validator on the Lunk ecosystem. And if you guys delegate to me, then I will vote for you. I will not vote for me. I will not decide what I want. I will vote for the betterment of your wallet. Everything that I will vote on will be based on pumping your bags and not on dumping your bags. So that is my promise to you guys. So if you give me the power to control what happens in this ecosystem, if you give me that ability, then I will use that ability to pump your bags, not their bags, not my bags, your bags. So I would appreciate it if you validate with me. Of course, I got to set up the validator first, and I should have the contract. I think the early part of next week, I'm going to have the contract ready. So once that happens, then we'll get it launched. We'll get it started. And that's going to have to make money because I think it cost me a couple $100 a month to run the validator. But it's not like I was told, it's not complicated to do or anything like that. So we'll set the validator up. If it's not a moneymaker where I can, like, if it doesn't come out of pocket every month, I'm not paying out of pocket every month after, there'll be a little time, of course. But if I can, find it profitable to hold on to it like that, and then I can just pay it every month and not have to worry about it, then we're good to go. And we'll keep validating, and hopefully we'll build it. We'll turn it into something bigger. Maybe you guys will stake with me instead of all nodes or auto stake or one of those clown shows. And then we'll control it. We'll have the Lunk chain, and we'll do what's best for your wallets. We'll get you that 40x. We'll get you that 100x. We'll get to a penny. We'll get to a dime. We'll get to $1. You know what I mean? But that's going to be on you guys to validate with people who do that. You know what I mean? I'm just setting it up right now. Once I've got it set up, once it's done, then I'll just be an active validator. I think that maybe I'll go into a queue or something like that, and I'll be one of those validators up, and then, you guys start validating with me. Once it's done, I will let you guys know. Anyway, that's going to be it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hold on for dear life today. This is going to be an interesting day. Remember, there's about 8.7 billion in expiries today, which is a pretty big day, but most of it's done by now. We're down 100 billion. As soon as the market, I think we're going to get something out of this market. What we'll probably see is the Trump wallet, I think it's called the White House Insider Wallet. If the White House Insider Wallet makes a trade, then we'll know exactly what direction everything is going to go in. If they close their short, if they do, whatever it is that they do, then we will know exactly what's going on at that point. So until then, it's not financial advice. You have a good weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Also, we'll be doing our Trading with Beliefs tonight, and we'll talk about what's going on in the market. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you again.
They call me please, I'll do any shot you